Alright, and again we are good to go after Darkest Dungeon last night. We are now doing Calm game once again, and recently Ultimate Fishing Simulator 2 came out, and we have of course played quite a few hours of the original Ultimate Fishing Simulator before we started more of doing the Fisherman Fishing Planet, so of course we are very interested in the evolution of the Ultimate Fishing Simulator. It's still in early access, and they especially warn there might be bugs. Similarly, there's now out actually the fishing game for the from the developers of the Hunter, the Angler, so that we will also get to at some point, but currently we are of course today first time playing Ultimate Fishing Simulator 2, which tested that it starts but didn't yet actually go all the way fishing. It has no DLC yet, so there are about 5 different fisheries at different levels available currently in the game, and at least it looks like it's quite competent further development of the original. Also, the original is still getting a new DLC. It recently got a new one, and they apparently changed developers because they hadn't posted for a while about the Ultimate Fishing Simulator at all, so they apparently changed developers and started over with making new DLCs still for it, so that's also quite interesting that Ultimate Fishing Simulator 1 is also still getting a new DLC, but it's not quite as complicated / nuanced game as the Fisherman, so in that respect it will be interesting to see what the new Ultimate Fishing Simulator has done and what kind of developments there are in it. So would say that let's move towards the game and see what we find with the new fishing simulator. And of course, do not forget about the clip contest. You can make nice clip, and actually there are still no clips entered this far. Of course it runs for a month, so there's plenty of time, so remember to take funny or spooky clips this month of games being played, and you may win nice YCH with ice fishing, of course, with the skunk. So do remember to take part in the clip contest. Welcome, and let's move towards the game here. Alright, at least as mentioned, the menu has kind of improved overall. So let's move into the game proper, and first of all we of course have only $200, so do not think we can do much. We have some equipment clearly to start with, and we have only $200, so do not think that would get us much in the shop. There are like various spinning for beginners, only almost $1,000. There are also like packages in the store. Lures for 7th level, no. 3rd level, no. Fishing sets, we have like spinning for beginners, float set for 8th level, spinning pro. Yep, that's a bit steep for our $200, like 7,165. So that is clearly pro level fishing set one has to observe. It's not exactly the most simple one, not by far. And of course we do not yet buy anything from the store, as we have so little money. We could buy new rods. They are like the basic ones are free, but then these cost actually quite a bit of money, the rest. Better floats, so we do have the really basic float, and then already these require higher level than 1, so most probably we should go fishing and get some levels before we try to. And we also need for other fisheries we need more levels, so let's go to Jackson National Park and go fishing. The loading indicator is nicely like a fish and a reel reeling it in, it seems. Oh, at least the graphical fidelity has increased a good amount, like compared to the earlier game. Let's see. Alright, the map is also quite fancy, like there are water on both sides, so we could look at the other side of the water. It looks like might drop the graphics settings one notch, as it's kind of like pretty good but not exactly like. So we could adjust graphics settings like one notch lower. Let's put our texture quality and overall quality only high. I do think that should get us enough headroom, because it's kind of, yeah, now it feels like it moves quite well, so let's run even to the pier and maybe fish from here. Alright, and here's our fishing equipment. So we do have this appears to be float fishing, so let's try with the float first, and we do have apparently some bait also, so looks alright. Alright, and we have long distance cast, short distance cast, so different patterns give different cast lengths. Alright, so let's see if we can cast. Let's try the long distance cast at like that didn't go like extremely far at all. Right, there's also some flotsam. Do we actually have like bait attached? Let's see which key we have mapped for inventory. Equipment. Let's map that to E. It apparently is already E. Alright, so we have earthworm, and how much bait we do then have. Alright, these are quite specific, like rod support, bite alarm, slingshot like type of. Right, and the first set is practically. Alright, this is like with bait. Instead of with bait, this is with the lure, so. Oh, hello there, Kisu. Indeed, almost on time, actually. Alright. Oh, but it was actually on promised time, which is uncommon. Wave also to Kisu, which is unusual that this one actually. Oh, and Kamu also. Wow, we have all the nice fluffs arriving. And yes, we are playing new Ultimate Fishing Simulator 2, which we are trying to learn to play, which of course is really a new game. Oh, you just asked and already had started on time, which is of course have been kind of trying to. And remember to also vote on Twitter on stream length, because can like start earlier and do longer, but would take probably more days off then. So we have kind of, as Jax and some others asked about the stream length, so decided. Let's see, and we can actually zoom quite a bit with G towards the, so that way we can see the fishing popper in this. Let's try, assuming we actually have bait attached, let's try like long distance cast, and then do we see the fishing popper this way? We actually see the tip of the rod, so is there even a float? Ah, there it is. Also quite strong current on the water. It's quite a bit more realistic than the old one that had like an indicator also on the float. Now you actually have to watch it, but the water is very nicely rendered. Clearly some shader programming has taken place. Looks like the... Ah, there is a float indicator now that do see it, so it was up to the UI to notice it first. Let's try long distance cast towards like the house or whatever. Like maximum distance, please. Up to the red zone. Yeah, the float indicator is a bit more minimal, so didn't see it. So we do not need to use the zoom mode at least to watch the float, which makes things a little bit easier. Oh, new work starting for the bat. So hopefully it goes well, and you start work without any major problem. Yeah, it has gone quite far down the river. Interesting. This is practically like river area. So let's walk to the other side of this path again, because there was another body of water over here. So let's actually experiment with this. There we go. The UI also uses ridiculously small font. Let's see if we can improve on that. Field of view, fog intensity, float scale. What does that actually scale? Doesn't look like it scales the font. It probably only scales the fishing float, would imagine. We can like adjust max FPS and water reflections, but we apparently can't adjust the font scaling, like line strength indicator, units of length, clock, controller setup right-handed. It seems like we actually can't adjust. Let's see if we put float scale in, does it only actually scale 4 times, apply. Yeah, it doesn't scale the UI. Oh well. Clearly early access indeed, because the fonts on the UI are ridiculously small, and the resolution isn't like any modern HD even, so it's surprisingly small. But yes, kind of takes some effort to see some of the information at all, as it's so small. Let's reel this back in and try with the other, like the one with the lure, and see how that works, because it seems this far haven't really got anything with the float. There we go. Yeah, it looks like might be the case, but it's not very modern or successful for like the last 10 plus years to do it that way, because then it gets really small, like with almost any resolution that is bigger than. Clearly it's been made for quite small resolution, because this isn't even very high that it's running at, so somewhat surprised. Let's try the other fishing rod for now and see. Yeah, the views are really nice. It's again quite high quality graphics, so in that respect certainly respect. There we go. haven't yet got much. Let's check the map like there's even a bridge we can get onto. So we are still on the river side of things. Let's check this spot. So if that would have less water flow. So let's turn the right way and not at that direction either. So exactly opposite would it be. This way. So let's get moving. They have put some more effort into modeling also the other things compared to the earlier maps. Jackson County indeed. Alright, let's try from here. The views are extremely. If we said Ryland, we were moving over. Oh, catching bunnies, yeah. It would be a shame if we hit the bunny by accident with the fishing hook. Alright, let's try and cast here. Kind of still unsure, like. Would think that we get starting, because it seems this time there's no tutorial, so would think that we get like starting equipment fit for this fishery. The fish broke off. Did we actually have a fish, or was it like the flotsam? So do we now have to and we actually have to buy a new lure, it seems. So let's try with the other one. That wasn't very lucky. Here it seems that it doesn't really like fix itself. Unsure if we got the flotsam or was it an actual fish. Right, let's try with the float fishing for a while and then probably buy more equipment. This game at least is quite a bit harder, considering we haven't caught any fish yet, despite trying. Yeah, most probably unwilling to try to be caught by fishing equipment. Of course, pre-arrays you have the one like the guy with the one for bravery points in XCOM, so we at some point again will be playing XCOM and we see how well they do as an operative. Because yes, you can name the one bravery guy, but most probably he will be panicking like upon getting to the operation site or thereabouts. Still nothing, and thought fisherman was hard, so let's go to the shop and at least buy more lures, because we lost the earlier one. We had one like this. Let's try a bit brighter colored one, because of course seems like pink would be good. Wonder if using let's try the pink one. There we go. Let's then see if we can add there we go. Now this should again work, as our earlier lure got lost, so alright, let's see if this works again. Yes, the pink one also looks quite nice, so let's cast that and see if we can finally get some fish. This far the results of fishing in this game have been very limited. They have clearly done a lot graphically, but like raison the tray of catching fish has this far been kind of less to write home about. Right. Kind of would expect a bit more. Would expect a bit more. Let's see how is one actually supposed to use the soft lure in this game, as there was not much instructions. Soft lure. Alright, not very. Seems like this instruction only like instructs. Clearly not very. One interesting question is that this is realistic mode, so let's actually see if we create a profile in the other mode. Does it show more information on how the lure is sinking, because it doesn't really show any information on that. It shows the realistic mode, so let's actually experiment on that. First, so we know a bit more about the game, but clearly profiles. Alright, let's create another one in normal mode and name it of course for the skunk. There we go, normal. This also seems to assume gender is binary. Alright, and we have another profile in normal mode. Let's check how it differs. Do you want to start the tutorial? You get tutorial offered only in normal mode. That's good to know. So now we start the tutorial. Yes, please. Had chosen realistic mode to see, like would think. Yes, we know how to move around. There we go, we have approached the water. Float fishing, yes, 2. Now we have the float fishing set. Short distance cast. Fully reel in the line. Long distance cast, yes, that we already know. Your next task is to catch a fish. You can use the underwater camera by pressing U to see what's happening underwater. Wait for the fish to become attracted to the bait. Alright, let's see. Underwater camera, you say. Wow. This isn't very realistic. Most fishermen would certainly love to have this. Yes, this we know. We have to jerk at the right moment. This is quite interesting function, the underwater camera, but it's not very realistic, certainly. Alright. The indicators for the stress are quite complicated on the lower right corner, but we can reel in still quite safely. There we go. Successful catch. Release the fish now. Alright. Common bream. That's actually quite nice. Nice looking view of the fish. Let's release. Yeah, that's true, Kisu. There's the pocket sonar for Game Boy. And yes, it seems the normal mode is the intended game mode, because the realistic mode was really hard. Alright, select the spinning set. There we go. Spinning fishing. Long distance cast. Reduce the retrieval speed to 10% and retrieve lure until you get a bite. Right. Alright, now the speed is 10%, and now we get very green. Now there's an indicator actually for the lure, because that was what was looking for in the realistic mode, and there's none, so we have to set the retrieve speed to quite low to pull the lure along in most effective fashion. Slow straight, yes. Alright, we reeled it in, so let's have another go. But yes, this is much more clear now with the normal mode. The realistic mode lacked all the indicators, so it was really hard to start. And it's not the intended game mode clearly, because only this mode has the tutorial. Do you think we have a fish? Yes. European perch. 280 grams. Price 97 cents. Real big fish. Right, M opens the map that we already knew, and we can teleport. Alright, that was a quick tutorial. So now we actually know. Yeah, rich! The fish was almost a full $1. Wow. And now we can go fishing again for the remaining stream in the normal mode, because the realistic mode even didn't have the tutorial, so we learned pretty much how to use the, and it actually looked quite nice. So let's go and fish a bit more and try to level up, because then we can buy like more equipment as usual in this game. So looks like the normal mode is the intended game mode. That would be actually very good liquid refreshments. So let's then go fishing at the Jackson National Park, and we at least have all the things. We didn't lose the lure like in the realistic mode. Let's try directly from this pier here and use for now the soft lure for now and see how that works. So cast it out and then start reeling it in at the 10% rate of speed. Need to write certainly give feedback to the developer that it would be mandatory really to have a proper UI scaling, because this isn't even such a large resolution and we are already getting much too small. Alright, yellow perch. 390 grams, 30 centimeters, $2. You get much less money in this game for the fish than before. Nice looking fish though. Certainly a keeper, like $2. Yeah, realistic mode without fishing refreshments. That sounds true. Right. Would logically next state changes misplacing portions of tackle box or fishing rod? That's possible also, like you may lose your equipment if you've had too many fishing refreshments. That would be very possible. So let's try for some more fish now that we actually succeeded. Yeah, it's a bit harder to determine when you have gotten a bite because it practically requires watching the outline of the lure and seeing when it moves in an anomalous fashion, and then you practically have a bite. Right, it was just too close in, so right. That's a pretty big fish. Brown bullhead. Almost 500 grams. 60 cents, like. It looks a bit like a catfish or something, and it's very low value. Oh. Alright, let's release that. It's like 60 cents. Right, and another go. The game is graphically very nice, but kind of the UI really desperately needs scaling. Alright. We have something going on. Alright, that's really fancy looking fish. Pumpkin seed, so it looks a bit different than in the previous game. 20 centimeters, 190 grams, 35 cents. Release. Like really, that's not going to get us much. All right. So let's have another go. Might also try the float fishing soon, but rather like the spinner as usual. Fly fishing should also be quite nice, but it requires more level. Flight fishing in the previous Ultimate Fishing Simulator was very nice with keeping the rhythm and such. It was really nice. Alright, there's something going on. Alright, that's really... Yep, that was really big. It just simply broke off, so we need a new lure. That was big. Alright, and let's buy a new. So, how do you like this in comparison to the Ultimate Fishing Simulator 1, having now seen some gameplay? It clearly has developed, especially graphically, quite a bit. But also you get comparatively much less money, so it's kind of much harder to earn enough for new equipment also. So there are sides to it. How do you like it this far, having seen now some gameplay of the Ultimate Fishing Simulator 2, as you all regulars at least have seen quite a bit of Ultimate Fishing Simulator 1, so what do you think? And let's buy a new lure as the previous one. Let's try the pink one. Do you think that all in the chat also like the pink one best? There we go. And utilize the pink one. Of course, pink should work well. yeah, do think that the game has developed in a quite good direction overall. It has new functions, and it seems that if the UI gets a bit larger size, then it would be actually quite nice. Alright, and now we have the pink lure, so let's move also to a different part of the... Now we can teleport, so it's easier. We can just move, for example, to the bridge. Let's try the bridge here. There we go. So now we can both walk and teleport. The realistic mode only allows walking. So let's get onto here and cast. Right, and reel it in. Alright, there's some action. Let's reel it in. Alright, that's an interesting looking fish. Grass pickerel. 360 grams, 80 cents. New personal record. Alright, let's keep that. And interesting looking fish. Alright. So let's then time wise we are still about 25 minutes, so let's fish more. And we have quite a few spots to try, so and the graphics are very nice. It's even nicer than the earlier game, so in that respect also do think that this is also nice. Do also like the... Right, that was a long cast, like... Up to own feet. Alright, let's try again. Alright, and start luring. Alright, and there's some interest, so let's see how fast we can reel. Another grass pickerel. It's a bit smaller, still not under 100 grams, so we are keeping it. Alright, we can also go there and fish towards the bridge. Let's see about that. With the windmill and everything. Yeah, the mountains are for sure textures. It certainly isn't like the background mountains are not modeled. That's for sure, you're right, Kisu. Alright, and another go. Alright, that's quite big. Yep. At least the lures are cheap, because we clearly have to keep buying more of them. Let's try the blue one now, like $2 a piece, and if we do not catch at least $2 worth of fish. So let's try the blue one. Clearly there's interest, but kind of much too big fish for this equipment. It's like immediately get it. Like just rip off the lure. Big fish. Here we go again now with the blue one. Alright, some interest. Another grass pickerel. Even smaller. This we are going to release. It's ridiculously small already. No bugs really, other than the UI scaling is non-existent. Even on not very high resolution, this one is running even not even compared to like 4K or whatever. The UI is really small. It's like there's no scaling at all. You can only scale the fishing float, so kind of a considerable issue. Otherwise, no real bugs yet, would say. It's actually not too buggy, but there are kind of like usability / quality of life issues. And we didn't find the tutorial at first at all, because you have to choose the normal rather than realistic mode to get a tutorial at all, but there's no warning on that. So first tried to catch any fish in the realistic mode and didn't really catch anything, so it was at first quite difficult. Alright, we have another fish, and we can easily reel a bit faster, it would seem. There we go. Alright, another pumpkin seed, so kind of small, and new personal record. Yeah, it's even 240 grams, 44 cents. Yeah. It's bigger than average, so let's keep that. Yeah, kind of like opposite. If you would play full HD, it would be, yeah, full HD would, even that would be kind of a little bit questionable in that respect, because this is like not quite even full HD, and it's still too small, so it's kind of like the UI scaling is sorely missed, but everything else is kind of, would say, at least alright. This far, no major bugs, and it's quite nice. The graphics have improved considerably. The overall system for putting the fishing equipment together seems pretty nice. It's not quite as complicated to manage as in the Fisherman Fishing Planet, which might be a good thing, but it's more involved than the one in Ultimate Fishing Simulator 1, so I would say that it's actually quite good balance this far, so quite pleased at what I've seen this far, especially considering it's still like version 0.10 early access, so not exactly claiming to be very complete yet. Alright, and something happening. That's a really small fish. There was no fish at all, alright. So another go. And then we see if we get a strike. We tried the pink lure also, but the fish stole it, so... Alright, now we clearly have something hooked. Alright, another grass pickerel. 250 grams, 55 cents. Keep. Here the fish prices are like 1/10 or less of what they were in Ultimate Fishing Simulator 1, so... Oh, hugs to both of you also, certainly. Skunk hugs. So let's see about more fish still. Maybe try once, but more before finishing for tonight. Have also quite early morning, so going to do the usual 1.5 hours still. And remember to vote in the poll on Twitter whether you want 3-hour or 1.5 hour streams by default, so we know how to adjust schedule for coming months, as this month is of course special and has a bit more streams with the alternating Gothic / mentally demanding and relaxing games. Alright. Action. Alright, that's a big fish. It's a really big fish. Do not think we can really reel it in with this equipment. Let's try, but kind of thinking it won't happen. Yeah, it's just pulling the vaulting under the bridge. That was it. That was really big. So we need to buy new lure once again. As we haven't yet leveled up, we can use only the basic ones. Let's get the pink one again. And put it into use. So there we go. Here we can't apparently rotate the 3D view unlike in the first game, but do not think it's a major loss that we can't There we go, now we again have even a lure. Let's change position also and see about what we can do. One more, let's try here. Alright. And let's cast this way. This would be a nice spot for fly fishing. Can say it immediately. This would be the spot for fly fishing of the ones have seen this far. Alright. That's big. That's really big. Yep. Clearly the starting equipment is terrible, like you get nice big fish and all of them just like break away. Bought a new lure and all. Let's buy another, like let's buy immediately like 5 more so we do not need to keep buying them all the time. Can we get stronger line, like? Yes, at least that's 016. And let's buy like, let's add several lures into the cart, like let's try the white one, the blue one, the pink one. Let's buy 3 at once, like put stronger line in, put a new lure in, try again. Really big fish for this equipment, like immediately it just breaks. Yep, it's good to know that there are the big fish out there, but the starting equipment clearly is not good to handle actually catching them. So yes. And now we again put our thing back together. Let's try the white one. It's really white. And let's put in the stronger line. Now we have at least the 016 monofilament. So like we should have a bit more leeway now with the tension. It's like just pulling against the brake, you already can break the. Let's put the brakes in the middle position, like if we get a big fish, a bit less brake maybe even less brake. So let's see if that conserves the insufficient strength of the bait and the line for a bit bigger fish. If we put less brake and then increase brake only once we have fought it a bit. Let's try playing with the brake, as we clearly have kind of questionable equipment quality. Alright, we have a customer. Let's reel in at the moderate speed. Alright, that we got up. Oh, nice looking sockeye salmon. Wow. We actually got a 610 grams, 38 centimeter, $4 already. This like already pays for a couple of lures, so yes, that's certainly a keeper. that's actually the first nice fish. We got a nice salmon, so raise a paw to that, as it's like we have been mostly catching a pumpkin seed and the really small fish, and then otherwise losing our equipment to the big fish. So that was first like a good fish we actually caught in the whole game, a nice salmon. So very happy at that. That was a nice catch, very much a nice catch. So let's then try for more. Do like this spot. This would be the spot for. This would really be the spot for fly fishing if yet had like level and equipment for fly fishing. Really like the overall geometry and everything at this spot for fly fishing. And of course I can remind that do remember to take clips for the clip contest. Also added it in the about information section, short instructions for the clip contest. Going Volmont, so reduce break, really. This is quite big. Let's see if we can reel it in, like immediately first step, reduce break, because otherwise it's hopeless. Yeah, it's running away all the time. Let's see if we can increase break one click. Yes, just and just. Quite a big fish. Let's see if we can fight it in. This is pretty much all that the equipment can take, so it's kind of tough. Let's see if we can like target it just and just. So let's try to fight it. This will be interesting. We have won a few meters, so still optimistic we can get this in. We are slowly reeling it in. It's only like we went even below 10 meters, so do still think that we can actually win this. Yes. Alright, smallmouth bass, the first bass we have gotten in this game, over a kilogram, almost $5, 10 experience, and we are now using like a nice scale already as we got like a real fish. Wow, that was really worth the fight. That was hard fight for this equipment. It's clear these bars have been breaking our equipment, certainly a keeper. Wow, that was a nice catch. It was like a really nice catch. Indeed, drop the base. Really nice catch. That was a good fight. Very much like real fishing. Alright, we are almost up to 1.5 hours and have early morning tomorrow, so we'll be even if liking this game more and more, will be sticking to the 1.5 hours to not be too tired in the morning. And really, this needs to be played more. This clearly is very nice. It was a nice fight, required even tactical play with the breaks that we actually can make our equipment take the fish at all. Played Dungeon Keeper back in the day when it came out. Didn't really totally like it back then. It was one of the like offbeat bullfrog designs that didn't totally like, but have played it long ago, yes. Back in the period when it came out.